going live, and you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. Right? You check on the chat box like everybody 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if something gets put in there, I try to see it. As soon as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Don't be shy. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. Now, the top link in the description box, it takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them, right? There's loyalty badges. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet. Now, the older the Giants helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet associated with your name, right, that means you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. As of right now, there's 4 emojis. Eventually, there'll be a 5th emoji coming out, but right now there's just 4. I had them made up on Fiverr. They crack me up every time I look at them. There's some funny stuff. You can use them in the comments. I guess we're going to be putting something in the chat box, but they're pretty funny looking. So if anybody wants to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. If you're not a subscriber of my channel, please go down and hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon. That way, next time I put out a video or I go live, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? Right now, I'm at 5,884 subscribers. So by tomorrow, I should be over 5,900 subscribers. But we got Sunday or Monday. I'll be like I should be getting right around like Sunday, maybe Monday, but 6,000 subscribers. What the hell I start the day with here? Started the day with 5,845. So I'm at 39 subscribers. One more subscriber, I'll be at 40. Tell you what, ever since the season's ended, I've been getting at least 30 or so subscribers, if not more, every day. It's just phenomenal. It was about 2 weeks or so ago. I hit the 5,000 count subscriber. It was I never really thought. I started this almost 2 years. I started March of 2021. So it was almost 2 years. But I tell you what, I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd have over 5,000 subscribers. We're in a couple of days. We're just a couple of days away from getting 6,000 subscribers. So if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. Thank you. And if you're not, please hit the subscribe button and bell icon. I said, what do you got to lose, right? And finally, in the description box below, also there are 2 Facebook links, okay? The initial one, okay, the top one takes you to my group, okay? There's over 2,300 members. Wow. Holy crap. I thought it was like 2,100 yesterday. That's crazy. Wow. All right, so we have, I don't know where those people coming from. But we got over 2,300 members in the group right now, okay? And I try to put like at least, 10 items in there every day, whether it's just a picture, whether it's a post, whether it's something showing some stats, video. Let's see here. Something I just put in there about 5 hours ago. The Giants can save $6.7 million by cutting Kenny Golladay before June 1st, or they can save $13.5 million if they cut him after June 1st. So if they cut him after June 1st, that $13.5 million basically will pay for their draft picks. So look for the dude to get cut after June 1st, right? But I mean, I said, there's some guy put in stuff, Brandon Jacobs stuff. There's a picture of him standing with Brandon Jacobs. There's a picture of somebody posted something with the Salsa King, Mr. Victor Cruz, signed helmet of his and a signed poster of his, holding up the The Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi trophy after their win in Super Bowl 46. So all kinds of stuff going in there every day. As I said, between me and the group members, as I become a member, right? You can post stuff in there as well too. So there's a ton of stuff going in there every day. Then the second link, okay, the second Facebook link takes you to, it's a page, okay? It's New York Giants and Gridiron. It's for idiots like me, okay? My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, all New York Giants, the Gridiron, okay? That's why an idiot like me can remember it, okay? That's why I try not to get too crazy there, because I'll forget my own stuff, right? But right now, we have, what do we got? 621 people who are liking it, and over 2,800 people following it. I think yesterday was like over 2,700. So every couple of days, I'm going up like over 100 followers. This is just freaking bananas. Let me tell you, it's really, really doing good. And it's the same thing here. Every day, I spend like probably at least an hour and a half every day just putting stuff in both the group and the page. And I don't commingle them. So basically, whatever I put on the page, I don't put in the group. And whatever I put in the group, don't go in the page. Every now and then, I might have one thing or so, go in both. The group and the page, but for the most part, I just try to keep everything separate. So if you go to the page, like it, and follow it, okay, and go to the group and become a member, between the two, you get a ton of New York Giants information, all kinds of stuff, picking on the Eagles, stuff picking on the Cowboys every day. All right. And like I said, if you join them and all that stuff, and if you're not satisfied, right, you get your money back guaranteed. Right? So all that said, we got some good news. I mean, the Giants brought back, thankfully, Azeez Hodgins. Okay. Well, I mean, the guys can stay healthy. Okay, that was one of the little tidbits there. But the guy can stay healthy. Boy, they got themselves that. Whew. Wide receiver Azeez Hodgins was elevated to the Giants' passing attack after being claimed off waivers from the Bills at midseason in 2022, has been re-signed by the Giants. No terms. Wow, this one must be a little bit old, because this is, what the hell is this? Is this SB Nation? I think it is. No terms were announced. So I got another article where apparently there were terms that were announced, but an exclusive rights free agent typically gets a one-year contract at the league minimum based on his credited season. So, I mean, they got him last year basically at the league minimum, and he's getting paid again for the league minimum. But I tell you what, if he puts up good solid numbers like he did last year, he won't be no league minimum in his third year. I can guarantee you that. As I said, hopefully the guy can stay healthy and all, right? What it says here, okay, if his original team offers him a deal, he cannot negotiate with other teams. So if the Giants offered him a deal, so he can't go out there, right, and negotiate with other people, because he's an exclusive rights free agent, right? We got a 24 years old. That's it. He's just a baby, right? Was a 6th-round pick of the Bills in 2020. So that's it's kind of interesting here, okay? Because there's three people that the Giants offered. They were exclusive rights free agents. They've all been re-signed by the Giants. But let's see. Okay, he was 6th-round pick in 2020 when Shane and Dable were there with the Bills. He never really got an opportunity in Buffalo, playing in only 3 games with 6 receptions before the Bills waived him at midseason. So, right. Let's see. So in 8 games, he had 5 starts, right? So basically, right, he caught 33 passes for 351 yards, 10.6 yards of reception, nothing crazy, but he also had 4 touchdowns. But let's look at it. 8 games. He started in 5, right? So just don't even think about starts on it. So he played 8 games. That's basically, we'll just say half the season, okay? Half the season, all right? For a guy off of somebody else's practice squad, he caught 33 passes in half the season. So a full season, just, play with me here. That would be 66 receptions from somebody off a practice squad. Not bad. 351 yards. Double that, even an idiot like me can figure out. That's 702 yards, right? So and 4 touchdowns, double that, now 8, right? So for a guy off of somebody else's practice squad, you're paying a dude the league minimum. If he prorated out for a whole season, would have had 66 catches, 700 yards, and almost most importantly, 8 receiving touchdowns. 8. And that's with, basically, him, with no help. I mean, he had Slayton. I mean, but, if somebody wanted to, really nail him down and take him out of the game or something, they could, because they're not worried about nobody else on the, what I mean, for the most part. So they did themselves really, really good. Now, Hodgins joins offensive lineman Jack Anderson and Lawrence Cager as exclusive rights free agents who have been re-signed by the Giants. Now, the thing is that Anderson, was drafted by the Bills. Shane and Dable didn't have nothing to do with it, but Shane was there. The Bills drafted Anderson in the 7th round of 2021. All right, so once again, familiarity there. Right, obviously Lawrence Cager wasn't. He was with the Jets drafted him. Right, so Cager had some moments. He where we at here? I mean, he played a lot, toward the end of the season. He played, what are we playing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He played in 8 games. Well, week 15, he had 1 snap. So, so he had some nice ones. The first game, actually week 18 against the Eagles, when he was like part of the second and third team that went out there. According to PFF, he graded out at a 70.9. Against Houston, he graded out at 69. Against Dallas in week 12, graded out 64.9. The playoff game, that we lost to the Eagles, he graded out at 63.9, right? But then again, then you look at the wild card game in Minnesota, where the Giants offense did really good. Well, apparently, according to Pro Football Focus, he was in there for 24 snaps. He only graded out at 39.9 altogether. So, he had some ups and downs, but he'll be back, right? Some depth, right? I don't know. He'll be on the team, maybe on the practice squad. Who knows? But then we got Jack Anderson that said it was from Texas Tech. 7th round by the Bills, right? So that's where Shane's got some familiarity there. Now, he played 148 snaps for the Giants this year. Basically, the last, week 12, week 14, and week 18 against the Eagles. He played predominantly most of his snaps, Now, he graded out, according to Pro Football Focus, for the whole season, graded out at 47.9. Nothing super spectacular. But he was also, apparently, he was drafted by the Bills in round 7. I guess, maybe he must have been let go. He played 81 snaps for the Eagles in 2021. Drafted 2021 by the Bills, wound up playing 81 snaps for the Eagles. Right. Then I guess they let him go, and then the Giants picked him up. So, he played left guard and right guard. Right. So a little bit of flexibility there. Just, I guess, some depth. Can't say some phenomenal, unbelievable quality depth, but he's young. Well, he's 24, so he'll be 24. He'll be 25 in October. So to start the season, he'll be 24. But he's 6'4", 314 pounds, nice size. He's a guard. They'll give him a chance, I guess, to work his way onto the roster. Who the hell knows what's going to go on with the Giants? Who they're going to draft anybody? They're going to bring a free agent in. Who knows? This might be Glowinski's last season with the Giants. We have Bredesen, right? We got McKeithen. We got Azudu. Who knows what's going on with Shane Lemieux? If that guy can ever stay healthy, who the frick knows? So, Jack Anderson, who knows? But, they got him cheap, right? So, if need be, he played for the Giants, so they got him back. So, that's not bad. All right. But in this other article here, with Hodgins, apparently, what the hell we got? What is this here? Giants Wire. Hodgins' production over the second half of the season was enough to earn him a new deal with the team. You're damn right it did. Jeez. He signed apparently a 1-year, $870,000 deal on Thursday. So today, he basically pretty much like the league minimum. So it's unbelievable. You got like guys like Devontae Adams out there making like $30 million a year. I mean, guys catches everything. He's phenomenal talent. Blah, 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 blah. This, that, and the other thing. But, I mean, this guy here would catch 66 passes in a year for $870,000. And Devontae Adams is going to catch maybe 100 balls in the season, 110, whatever. He wants 30. He's going to get $30 million. Unbelievable. But so we got Hodgins back. So that's good, right? So we know we have Wan'Dale Robinson coming back. Apparently he should be back. Hopefully hopefully he should be ready to go by the beginning of the season. Hopefully, right? Apparently, because what I'm hearing, everything's going pretty well with him. So hopefully he should be good to go. Hopefully by the beginning of the season. Now he might have to be on a pitch count and all of that, but Wan'Dale Robinson should be back and ready to go. If not by the beginning of the season, hopefully early in the season, because he wasn't hurt early in the season, with this past season. So, but apparently, everything's going well with him. So we got Bellinger, Wan'Dale Robinson, right? And then we have Hodgins. Now, we got a lot. How do we bring back Richie James? What are we doing with Sterling Shepard? Right, his contract was just voided. Basically, it was 72 hours after the Super Bowl. I don't know why it was 72 hours. I don't know, but apparently his contract gets voided. It was voided 72 hours after the Super Bowl was over. So he's basically a free agent. So we got James, Galladay's gone. Right, Sterling Shepard, and we're going to do anything with Slayton. We'll have to wait and see. But at least the Giants have a couple pieces there. Now, let's see, do they bring anybody in? Hopefully, Colin Johnson might be back, because he was having a very good training camp until he got injured. So the nice thing about him getting injured in training camp, the wide receiver, was that he should be back hopefully in plenty of time for the regular season, right? And hopefully the Giants do wind up drafting somebody. So it'll be interesting to see if they wind up, Hodgins, they brought him back, or they're going to bring anybody else back. It'll be interesting to see. All right. Then I saw another boy. I'll tell you, this is kind of like blowing me out of the water here. I mean, I just, respectfully, shall we say, just respectfully. And I always say that, despise the Eagles. All right. So anything that I can't. So the words can't come out of my mouth sometimes. I can't hate them so much. I hate the Cowboys too, but my son, I don't know. He's born in South Jersey. For some reason, he likes the Cowboys. I don't know, but I got a little soft spot in my heart for the Cowboys, because he's a Cowboy fan, right? So I mean, if the Cowboys do good, I'm happy for him. I can't stand the Cowboys, but I'm happy for him. But I saw this thing, a rumor about. Now, the thing is that when a guy has played 3 seasons and he's on his rookie contract and he's played 3 seasons in the NFL, he's eligible to have his contract extended, right, or rewritten, or however you want to put it, right? So Jalen Hurts, okay, he was a 2nd-round pick. This is his 3rd season. The first season, a lot of us remember, and being a Giant fan, the last game of the season, the Giants were, 6-10? The Washington football team, I believe they were at the time. I get so mixed up with they weren't the Redskins. I think they were the Washington football team. Yeah, at the time. So we go back to 2020, right? So that's Jalen Hurts' first season. Right. So the last game of the season, I believe he was the starter for the Eagles or whatever. Well, I mean, the Eagles were not very good that year. They were not very good at all. Right. So, but the last game of the season, Washington was 6-9, Giants were 6-10. So, there is no Monday night game. So it was Saturday. I guess it had to be the Sunday night game, because that decided the NFC East, right? So the Washington football team was winning. It's not like they benched Jalen Hurts and Washington came from behind and wound up winning. Washington was winning, right? But with Jalen Hurts in the game, they had a chance, right? So I said, let's not, we all kind of remember when Jalen Hurts his first season, because remember, he was standing on the sideline after he got benched. I don't know, it was like middle of 3rd quarter, whatever it was. He's just saying, just shaking his head. He's like, you can read his lip. This ain't right. This ain't right. He's just shaking his head, right? So that's when Peterson, and shortly after that, Peterson went bye-bye, right? Because when the Giants had a chance to go to the playoffs, I mean, it's 6-10. That's pretty sad. But, if the Eagles came back and wound up winning that game, right, the Giants were going to the playoffs. They were going to wind up playing the Bucs, right? But, it is what it is. And that wound up working out for the best for the Giants anyway, because the Giants got a better draft pick and all that stuff. Everything, it's all history. But so this Jalen Hurts' third season, right? So this is going to be his fourth season come up. So rookie contract, once you completed your third season, I guess it is, you're eligible to have your contract redone. So I seen a report here that Adam Schefter has been reporting, right? Let's say Spot Track pegs. Well, let's say Spot Track. Let's say okay. Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts are expected to come to an agreement on a long-term contract this offseason, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. It would be an upset if that deal did not get done this offseason, Schefter said, adding Hurts' average salary could be north of $45 million. Now, what he was saying is that Schefter is saying north of $45 million. To me, that's a starting point, Schefter says, and it may not even be close to 45. We're talking we're talking possibly 50, maybe even more. Tell you what, I hope the Eagles give him $500 million a year. Just give him the whole team salary. I hope that would be fantastic, because then they'd have to play with a bunch of kindergartners because they couldn't pay anybody else. But now Spot Track has Hurts' market value at $265 million over 6 years, which averages out to $44.2 million a season. Right. Now, it's easy to forget because of Hurts subsequently unfolded, but some remain skeptical about Hurts as a long-term solution heading into the 2022 season. Yeah. So what might this wind up meaning? Now, he threw for 3,700 yards this year, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He ran for 760 yards and 13 scores. All right. So, his rookie season, right? He started 4 games. He was 1-3. He was 52% completion, 6 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. Second season, he was 8-7. Okay. 61% completion, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Right. Now, behind the best offensive line in football, okay, 2 phenomenal wide receivers, a solid tight end, okay. Nobody got injured for the most part all year, right? He completed 66% of his passes, 22 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, 3,700 yards. Now, he didn't have to go hog wild throwing the ball because they have a really good offensive line. The running game's, phenomenal only because he's part of it. Okay. It's not like they can, they do a very good job running the ball. Yeah. But let's not forget, Hurts is also part of that too. Okay. But, the guy went to the Super Bowl. Now, this is one of those scenarios we kind of have, like the almost kind of like the perfect storm. Right. As I said, I hope the guy gets $500 trillion a year. Give him your whole salary for the next 300 million years, Eagles. Go ahead. Just give it. The more the merrier. More you give the guy, go for it, brother. Right. I don't think it's going to mean that much of anything for Daniel Jones because, you look at the two, the Giants have done, what John Maurer said, everything pretty much to screw the dude up in the first years he's been here, as where the Eagles basically gave Jalen Hurts pretty much everything, right? And once again, and they got lucky this year for many reasons, okay? But, Daniel Jones does not have, even this year when he had a very good number, a very good season, he kept his turnovers down, right? Led the league in interception percentage, 1.1. He didn't have phenomenal numbers, but then again, he doesn't have a phenomenal offensive line. He doesn't have phenomenal weapons to throw the ball to, right? So he doesn't really have much of a leg to, he does, but he doesn't. I mean, he's not going to go in there and say, let's fork over $50 million there, Mr. Mara. I'm the man. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that much leverage, right? He's got some, okay? But he doesn't have, so whatever Jalen Hurts signs for, it's not really going to affect Daniel Jones, I don't think, too much. You got some guys coming up, okay, who are going to maybe start rewriting some record books or whatever you want to call it, because you got Burrow coming up, right? He's due, right? Because this was his third season. Right, his first season he got hurt, then he went to the Super Bowl, then this was, so he's eligible for contract extension, big bucks. I mean, we're looking at least $50 million for him. Apparently, like Lamar Jackson or something. Them and the Ravens are like way off. Apparently, from what I heard. I don't know if it's guaranteed money they were way off on or exactly what it is, but. So we got some guys that are going to be like maybe resetting some of them, and then Justin Herbert, he'll be available. So we got some guys coming up. They're going to be like rewriting some record books here as far as probably how much money they're going to be getting, right? So Jalen Hurts, all right, apparently he's at least $45 to $50 million now. I mean, did he have? Yes, he did. A very, very good season, but once again, okay, sometimes there's the perfect storm. Now, you got to look at, okay, as Jerry Jones said of the Dallas Cowboys, okay, you got your pieces of pie, right? Now, we try to make everybody get a piece of pie, right? Sometimes some people get bigger pieces of pie, which leaves little pieces of pie for the rest of the people. But we're trying to make sure everybody gets a piece of the pie, right? So the thing is, all right, that if you go by Jerry Jones and talking about pieces of pie, let's say a piece of pie. Okay, there you go. The bigger the piece of pie you want, the smaller pieces of pie you get for everybody else. And the smaller pieces of pie left for everybody else means the smaller the talent level is. Okay, you kind of see where I'm kind of going? Why? Riddle me this, Batman. Why does Aaron Rodgers, why have a hard time going to a Super Bowl? Why? Because you know why? Because Aaron Rodgers wants a big piece of pie, right? Aaron Rodgers is like $50 million a year. Now, the salary cap this past season, I think, was like 208. So he wants 50. He's getting $50 million. So basically, he's getting 25%. That's that much of a pie. That's 25% of a pie. He wants 25% all for himself. See, the reason why Jalen Hurts was able to get that offensive line in front of him, the best offensive line in football, A.J. Brown, right, $25 million a year. He's got Dallas Goedert. He's got DeVonta Smith. Why he had all of that was because his piece of pie was kind of small, right? Now, and I said, once again, it was the perfect storm. Is Hurts good? Sure, absolutely, right? But they had no... They were the fourth least injured team in football by mangameslost.com. The Jaguars were by far the least, one of the reasons why they won their division. The Eagles were the fourth least. Okay, the Giants were the sixth most. Tennessee was the worst. That's why Tennessee did not win the division and Jacksonville did, because of injuries. Now, if everything is, if you give Jalen Hurts the best offensive line in football, you give him A.J. Brown, you give him DeVonta Smith, you give him Goddard, you give him Sanders and Boston Scott, the Giant. I think he has like 300 touchdowns. He's played 4 games against the Giants. Boston Scott has like 300 touchdowns against the Giants. You give him everything, all that perfection, right? You give him the easiest schedule in all of NFL. You give him all that perfection around them. Nobody's hurt. And you're playing the softest schedule in the NFL. Yeah, you should do pretty good. Yeah, okay. What's he going to do when his piece of pie, right? He wants $50 million, right? And all that talent around him is going to go bye-bye. Bye-bye, Jalen. We can't afford it, Jalen. How's he going to be then, right? How was he in the Super Bowl in the second half when it was time to put the big boy pants on, right? You scored 24 points at halftime. Well, that's when people go into halftime. They, the good coaches, well, they all make adjustments. The good coaches make the right adjustments. The bad coaches, like Sirianni, don't do jack squat, right? So what happened when Jalen Hurts, when they had to score, they had to score some points in the second half. That's what 15, I don't know, what did it take them, like 25 minutes to score a touchdown in the second half against the Kansas City Chiefs defense. The Kansas City Chiefs defense, good, not bad. Hey, Spagnuolo, hey, God bless you, brother. Win 1,000 Super Bowls. I'm all for him. I love that guy. Great coach and all that. But, right, when Jalen Hurts had to score some points, did they score any points in the second? They kicked the field goal, and, Philly's not, they got a lot of free agents. I said they lost, their defensive coordinator, their offensive coordinator. But the reason why a lot is because nobody was injured, soft schedule. I mean, we can just go down the list. They had to play the Giants, the last game of the season against the Giants' third string quarterback to get into the playoffs and get the number one seed. They played the 49ers' third and fourth string quarterback in the championship game. And when the third string quarterback came back in the game, he couldn't throw a football. Then they're snapping the ball to McCaffrey, the running back, right? They beat the Cowboys the first time. The Cowboys had their backup quarterback in there. I mean, they beat the Lions the first game of the season when the Lions weren't good. They beat Jacksonville fourth game of the season or something like that when Jacksonville wasn't good. Those teams started coming on. They barely beat the Colts. They had to score a touchdown with like 2 minutes to go in the game to pull that one out by a point. I mean, it's just the perfect storm for them. 8 million salary cap and 20 million, 20 free. Yeah, that's all they got. 20 free. Yeah. See, they don't even have enough money right now to sign a draft grade. I think because they got 2 first rounders. They got pick 10 from the Saints. So they're going to get they're going to get 2 good studs. I mean, and then they got pick 31, I guess it is, because they lost the Super Bowl. So, but they got pick 10 from the Saints. So they're going to get somebody good, but they're losing a lot of guys. And I said that right now, I don't even think they have enough guys money to sign their pick 10 would be like maybe 3 or 4 million a year or something like that. I forget where it would be somewhere. But I mean, the 2 first rounders going to cost them like probably about $6 million a year, somewhere around there. So they a lot of guys are going bye-bye. Now, what they did, right, was that their GM, like what he did with Bradbury, he signed Bradbury, brought Bradbury in. He can't afford to pay him on the 2022 season. So what he did was he signed him, and for the next 4 seasons, 23, 24, 25, and 26, Bradbury's got money going against the cap. So what they did was they started bringing all these guys in, right? Paid him a little bit this year. Well, actually maybe gave him a signing bonus or whatever it was or something. But a lot of these guys are going to be off the team for years, 3-4 years, and they're still signing them. They still got dead money going against the cap. So that's kicking the can down the road. That's what a lot of guys don't want to do. But what wound up happening was he pushed all the chips, the Eagles, all the chips in the middle of the table, everything for this year, right? And you got to give them some credit. They got to the Super Bowl. They almost won the Super Bowl. Didn't win it, but now they're screwing with the salary cap. And that's one of the reasons why, people are like, man, the Eagles, they're good. Whoa, they got all these guys, good teams, got all these great players. Well, that's why. I mean, you bring in all these guys, right? And yeah, we'll bring you in, right? And we'll just sign you and we'll have you on the side. It's like, I don't know if you know, it's like the New York Mets with Bobby Bonilla. They're paying Bobby Bonilla like $1 million a year for like 3,000 years, right? So basically that's what they're doing. Samolo, the guard, I think he's 3 or 4 years. Bradbury, he's definitely 4 years, right? So after Bradbury ain't going to be on the team for 4 years. And he's going to still have a salary cap hit against their salary cap. So that's why the Eagles had all these good players, right? But now is what you're saying, right? They got $8 million in salary, got all these free agents, and quite possibly Jalen Hurts played his last snap at whatever the hell he's making, like $2 million last year or something. That ain't happening no more. Now the thing is with Jalen Hurts, now when they refigure his contract out and all, they usually make where the first year the cap hit is relatively small, because they'll give him some guaranteed money. So maybe it's a signing bonus. I mean, they'll be able to split the signing bonus up over, up to 5 years, I believe it is. So they'll keep his cap hit low, but he's probably going to walk on the field next year, making a second round pick money no more. So he's going to go up. So maybe this year his cap hit might be pretty low, right? But 2024, it's going to start going up and up and up. And, one of these years, his cap hit's got to be $55 million or so, whatever. Now you got to look at that, right? They got A.J. Brown. They're paying, on average, $25 million a year. Okay. DeVonta Smith. Okay. All right. He's only played 2, but they're gonna have like A.J. Brown. They're gonna have Jalen Hurts. They're gonna have DeVonta Smith. They're gonna be paying like almost like $100 million for like 3 guys. I mean, it's like, but yeah, they're. I mean, people are like, man, Eagles, they'll be back. I don't know. I don't think so. I kind of like what they were doing. Yeah, you got to. Yep, you got to pay them. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like what the Eagles are doing here, it's kind of like what Shane does not want to do, right? He's trying to, avoid doing, right? Kicking can down the road, right? Don't want to be bringing guys in if you can't afford to pay them. I mean, that's like what Gettleman did. I mean, Gettleman just started bringing all these guys in. I mean, it was great at the time. We're paying Leonard Williams, and then we brought Kenny Golladay in, and we have Blake Martinez and James Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, right? Just Logan Ryan, Jabrill Peppers. We're bringing all these, decent guys in and all and everything. Woo, yeah, we're great. But then, when the salary cap comes and bites you in the ass, you're screwed, right? So the Eagles are they're going to have some hard times ahead of them. When they won the Super Bowl, and after the 2017 season, I think that's when it was. That's when they had Carson Wentz on a rookie deal. Okay. And then, but Nick Foles, because Wentz was hurt, Foles came in. He was the backup. Okay, the second stringer. He came in, wound up winning them game. But if Carson Wentz was on his second deal where he started making like $30 million or so there, well, some of the talent wouldn't have been there. Nick Foles may not have been there because they probably may not have been able to afford him a backup because he was a good backup, right? So the Eagles, when they won the Super Bowl, their quarterback was on a rookie deal, right? Same thing here. That's kind of like why I think they pushed all the chips and we got to try to win now if we can, because once our quarterback's going to want some money, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, there's not many guys who can go out there like a Patrick Mahomes, okay, and go to the Super Bowl, right, with, less talent around them. But, some guys like Patrick Mahomes, like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, guys like that, really, really special. But, I mean, the Eagles, things are going to be a little changing. And they got they have some rough. I mean, they still have some good players without question. But, I mean, once they're going to start paying Jalen Hurts, you're going to go from like $2-3 million a year up to almost like 50. But I mean, I think with Daniel Jones, I mean, hopefully they're looking to wrap. See, the thing is that they're trying to wrap him up before he goes to free agency, right? So then, so before he hits free agency, they throw the franchise tag on him. So that's cool. So then they know they got him for a franchise tag. Then they can work out maybe a deal. I think they got until like the middle of July to work a deal out where then they can rip up the franchise tag and work out on the deal. But the problem is if they don't get Daniel Jones signed, if they have any inkling of maybe franchise tag and Saquon Barkley, you can only use franchise tag once, right? So once you throw it on Dan, if they can't get it done in the next couple of weeks, they might have to throw the franchise tag on. They do that with him, they can't throw the franchise tag on Saquon. So I think with Daniel Jones, they're trying to maybe get him done if they can, soon, because they only got a couple. Well, they got what, 3 weeks left? The 16th was 12. Yeah, like a little over 3 weeks left, I guess, before free agency starts. So before you know it, free agency's going to be here, right? But they're going to try to hopefully get something done with Daniel Jones, hopefully, before free agency. Unless they think they're close to working something out with Saquon. If they think they're close to working out something with Saquon, get the deal done with Saquon, and then they can throw the franchise tag on Daniel Jones, and then they have something until like maybe middle of July to work out a deal. But the thing is that, you don't want to wait too long with Daniel Jones, because you wait too long and all of a sudden, like, Jalen Hurts gets $50 million, Joe Burrows comes and he gets $50 million, Lamar Jackson gets 50, something like, it's like, Daniel Jones might start wanting some more. So, especially if you throw the franchise tag on him this year, Daniel Jones balls out again, right? Has another good season. Well, then if you paid him 37, say this year, paid him 37 for like 3 or 4 or 5 years, a new contract for 37. Well, if you get better offensive line, better weapons around him, his numbers might improve. So then after the franchise tag season's over, then you want to rewrite his contract. Well, instead of 37, like you could have got him this year, it might be 42, might be 43, might be 44. You don't know. So it might behoove the Giants to try to get something done with Daniel Jones pronto. I said that way, if they get something done, right, then they can, if worse comes to worse, they can always throw the franchise tag on Saquon Barkley. Now, I don't know if Saquon's going to want to be on the franchise tag. He might want to hold out. Then if the Giants, don't want to upset the apple cart, maybe, Saquon just sits off the side. The Giants try to work out a trade for Saquon, try to get some kind of compensation in return for him. Who knows? They can also let Saquon walk, right? If they can't work out a deal, okay, and then they might get a compensatory pick for him next season, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of things out there, but I just thought it was really, really interesting that Jalen Hurts is looking for maybe close to $50 million. I mean, I just remember Kyler Murray. He wanted $46 million, right? And he always had good wide receivers to throw the ball to. Green and Hopkins and Fitzgerald, right? I mean, and Zach Ertz there, right? He always had some good guys to throw the ball to, right? Right? Don't give the guy good guys. Say some of those guys get hurt and he doesn't have good guys to throw the ball to. How well is he going to do? How well is Jalen Hurts going to do when DeVonta Smith, twists his ankle and A.J. Brown running deep, pulls the hamstring and they both miss 3 or 4 games? How's Jalen Hurts going to do then? When you have a harder schedule, better defenses, right? You don't have your weapons. How's he going to do then? Is he worth $50 million then? Ooh. Possibly not. Yeah, big mistake was the 5-year option. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right, well, guys, it's been 43 minutes. I've talked about the Eagles so much, I'm getting ready to throw up. It's just making me nauseous. I do apologize. But 43 minutes, anybody spent any time at all? Hey, Daniel, thank you. Daniel McKnight, good talking to you. Thank you. Appreciate the conversation here. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Anybody spent any time watching me at all? Thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much. Yes, sir. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.